all of a sudden the American economy has 517,000 new jobs. I don't even remember the last time the economy had 517,000 jobs added in a single month. I also don't know the last time. I remember probably about a half dozen friends, family members, extended peers lose their job all in the last couple months either. So I do find that very, very interesting that all of a sudden we have massive jobs report. Really, the biggest I remember seeing in a while. I don't care enough because the numbers are all just absolute garbage anyway to go look it up. This is what we do at this channel, though. We question everything with boldness. Question, question, question. Let's find what the real answers are of life. And again, don't take my suggestions. Don't take my opinions. Don't take my research. Don't take anything I say as fact. Go do your own research. Go look. Be unlike the rest of society. I challenge you to be unlike the rest of society and actually go spend 5 minutes, go spend 10 minutes actually looking for the data, actually seeing what's happening, actually Googling an article, DuckDuckGoing an article, actually finding something out for ourselves instead of just headline reading, instead of just watching what everyone else does on mainstream news or on Twitter, on social media or something like that. We have to actually do a little homework, and then we can actually be enlightened individuals. We actually be emotionally intelligent individuals instead of these just little animated robots walking around. Because people think about AI and robots. Guys, we already have a world full of AI, NPCs, non-playable characters walking around, droiding around on their phones and stuff. We literally have a world full of robots, automobiles. I mean, it's just absolute clown world we live in. Astonishingly strong U.S. jobs reports and stocks sinking. Well, why is that? And then it's bouncing all over the place, right? So we did a report earlier. This is before really any of the data, before I had any of the data, and for the jobs report and stuff like that. And everything was somewhat kosher, and then stocks all of a sudden sink, and then they're back, and they're just all over the place. So what's happening, I guess, right now is the better question, right? What is actually happening? So people think like, oh, there's a great jobs report. That means they're going to keep hiking rates. I mean, no news or bad news is good news, and good news is good news. Just everything. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's how backwards. When you have a society that the goalposts are constantly moving and no one knows what in the world is going on, well, welcome to that world when no one can make decisions on their life, no one can make business decisions, no one can balance their budgets because the goalposts are constantly moving. I don't know if the Fed's changing interest rates. I don't know if they're debasing the dollar a half, so I need to get out of it and buy real estate, buy Bitcoin. I have no idea. We have no idea. That's why we advocate for a hard, sound money, a deflationary money. It's opposite of the system we live in. You have people like Nina Turner, you have all these people, you have these ad hominem attack artists on Twitter that, I swear they just go into ChatGPT and think of like, what's the stupidest thing I can say today? And they'll have like 12, 15 tweets every day. I would like these one-liners, straw man arguments, things like that. We are a culture filled with straw man arguments. No steel man here. All straw man arguments, all a bunch of people just, throwing a bunch of nonsense into the ecosystem, and just firing people up, engagement baiters, and just engagement artists, really. Like, we have just incredible people at stoking engagement, and literally, I mean, people like that have hundreds of thousands of people that follow them. That's mind-blowing. Yet, we have people all over Twitter, all over social media who tell truth, who spit fire, who think with high emotional intelligence, high physical intelligence, high IQ, and they have 500 followers, 5,000 followers, 3,000. It is mind-blowing to me what kind of world we live in. So of course the stocks go down a little bit because the job report comes in amazing. All of a sudden, I mean, it just blew past expectations. It's 8 Sigma. I think I got it right here. 8 Sigma. 8 Sigma to beat expectations. Again, I don't even remember the last time that happened. And oh my gosh! And again, we can go through. I don't want to go read through the entire article right now with you. I read some of these articles, but I don't want to go through it. So please go look at these. That's why I'm sharing these as well, so you can go see what they are and go share them. And I can put the links in the descriptions. Anyway, the point is, all of a sudden, we tweeted out earlier. I tweeted out that all of a sudden, you can just imagine Joe Biden. You guys, I've got a really important State of the Union address to make next week, and then the deep state swoops in, like, hold my beer. It just comes in with just like, oh wait, oh oops, sorry guys, we shouldn't have done it that much. We kind of overshot. Did anyone even look to see what we put out last month? I mean, this is the clown world that's going on. If you think the data is even remotely accurate, I mean, you've got another thing coming. Mind you, we have a world where we show you all the time the inflation data, which they've completely skewered and castrated over the last 40 years. Inflation is what they tell you is at 6%, yet the inflation, how we used to measure it in 1980, is 15%, somewhere between 14 and 17%. What does that tell you? You know, if they can't even tell you the truth about inflation, they can't tell you the truth about job numbers, why would you trust them with your healthcare? Why would you trust them about going to war? Why would you trust them with handling your money? These are real questions that need to be answered. And most people, well, yeah, whatever, Brandon. Like, that's a little too scary for me. But do you see the game last night? This is why we have problems. This is why people have too much month at the end of their money. This is why Nina Turner and the Al Sharptons of the world and these attack artists, engagement artists are so easily able to just pull people in with emotion. This is what Karl Marx was great at, pulling people in with emotion, just saying, yeah, it's rich people's fault. Whee! And then it's very easy as a human being to just be like, oh, wait, I don't have to do any work? Yeah, you're right. It is someone else's fault. We're in a proof of stake world. This is Charlie Munger and Ray Dalio saying, you know, Bitcoin's not the answer and blah, 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 blah. They've had 100 years of suckling at the teat, schmoozing, their credit agencies owning them, getting bailed out, their credit agencies grading people and their companies worthwhile when they're actually pieces of garbage. This is the system that we've built. We have created an inflationary fiat currency system, the Titanic going down slowly and creating a bigger and bigger and bigger wealth gap. And Munger and Dalio and Buffett think that, well, I mean, look, I did it. I schmoozed and knew the right people and got close to the currency printer. So, I mean, anyone can do it. No, that's not what happens. The guy working at McDonald's, they can't do that. They don't have time to go do that, guys. Sorry, they don't have time to go and, you know, I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to go try to make friends with everyone at the Fed or make friends with the academic department at Stanford or at Harvard and hope they get into positions of power I can suckle at the teat. This is the clown world we live in. This is why a deflationary money standard, the likes of which, you know, Jeff Snyder and George Gammon just flip their lid on, they can't figure out what needs to be done. But a deflationary money, one that if you work at McDonald's or you are a rocket scientist, it doesn't matter. If you spend less than you earn, so you're saving each month, but you're saving in the hardest asset there is. You're saving in the hardest, the most finite asset. Then you can get ahead in life. Then and only then your purchasing power goes up and your cost of living goes down. Your standard of living goes up because now that one thing that you're holding, I'm not even going to say what it is, that one thing that you're holding now accrues more and more purchasing power over time, and you can buy more and more things, more and more goods and services with that. That's literally it. Simple. End of the story. And we've got this clown world, and the whole point of this at the end of the day is we got this crazy job report. Deep state swoops in to give Biden, you know, these great things. And again, it happens both ways. It's whatever. This is politics. This is why it's not red versus blue. It's state versus you. It could be Trump. It could be Bush. It could be Biden. It could be Obama. But then here we are. We've got, and this is the liquidity exec summary, you know, email, whatever, financial email that I get every morning. It's a good email because it has like a lot of good stuff that they put together, like headlines. I only read like, I skim through it and I only read like 1% of it each day, like things that are of actual importance. They just have like all kinds of garbage in here. And the thing though, again, I only had the last 2 days in here, but how many things in here can you find about job layoffs? There's a handful just in these last 2 days emails. And if I could show you the last like 100 emails I've got, the last 100 days, or last 180 days, all it is just filled with job layoffs. Amazon laying off 10,000, Rocket laying off 5,000, this company laying off 10,000, Apple laying off, Amazon laying off 18,000, or whatever it is. It's just layoff after layoff every single day, more and more. Like Goldman Sachs, you know when things are in trouble when Goldman, you know, the head of the beast itself is laying people off. That's when you know it's bad. So where, I mean, again, like a lot of the spaces today in the Bitcoin world and stuff like that, in the hard money world, in the digital age we're moving into, no one can understand what's going on in the macro. I mean, it's as I think it was Mark Twain who said that there's three types of lies. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. And no one can figure out what's going on. There's no one that can figure out what's going on because they've jumbled things up so much that you can't figure out what's going on. That's why every single day I show you the credit market. You have to understand what the 10-year treasury is doing, and then the DXY, the dollar strength, relative dollar strength. You have to understand what that's doing. You have to understand the Bitcoin price. Is Bitcoin running? What's the price of Bitcoin? What's the price of gold and silver? The actual benchmarks, the actual constant in the equation. You have to see what that is. And then you have to see the currency printing going on. That's why we show the debt every morning too. You have to see that if you're denominating your life in this currency that's being devalued and the debt's just going up, that means everything's going to become more and more expensive. It's going to take more of those dollars. But that's why we show you Bitcoin. Gold and silver used to be that thing, but Bitcoin is there's never going to be more than 21 million. So you can divide everything in the world by 21 million. That's why I show you the priced in Bitcoin site, and I'm going to bring it up right here. So the priced in Bitcoin site. You can go here and find anything you want priced in Bitcoin, and you can chart the graph, and you can see exactly what happens. And you go in, let's find actually gold. Let's go in and see what happens. And you go back the last 10 years. And let's see, and then you do a lot, like, so there's, that's what happens. If you've been holding Bitcoin over gold, or if you've been holding gold over Bitcoin, you've been getting destroyed. You've been losing purchasing power. Right? And if it's not in log scale, it looks really bad. That's what happened. You've gotten extremely poor over the last 10 years if you've held gold and made the decision of taking your dollars, selling those dollars, going short dollars, going long gold. You've got destroyed. This is why Bitcoin has destroyed all of the assets and is going to continue destroying the assets. Every asset. It's the apex monetary asset because it's the finite asset. It's the one thing you can't get more of. You have to earn it or you have to buy it. It's the only thing. So... And there's no more inflation of it more than 21 million, right? Over the next 100 years, it's going to be less and less and less. I mean, the next halving or two is going to be pretty much just what you can get on exchanges or work for. Where gold, you can always find more, right? It's all plentiful. It's abundant all around the universe. Gold and silver. I love them, but they're still, it's good. We need something that can transport digitally across space and time. And unfortunately, it's not gold and silver. I used to think it was 10 years ago. So this is why these numbers is hilarious. I mean, this is absolute clown world. And this is why this is so important, seeing these and seeing the job numbers and then looking and saying, all I've seen, again, I don't even know last time. It's been 10 years, 12 years since I've seen so many people I know close to me that have lost their jobs in, well-paying jobs. So what does that tell you? It could tell you a couple things. One of them could be, people are losing their higher paying jobs and they're having to go take 2 low-paying jobs. A job at McDonald's and a job at the Dollar Tree. Things like that. That's probably what the data is telling you. Things like that. So again, very confusing data. And I'm not here to say I'm an expert in any means. No one is. No one knows what's going on. I've listened to a dozen people over the last 12 to 24 hours. There's not one person that can say like, yep, I know exactly what's going on. And these are smart people. These are people that run hedge funds. These are smart dudes that know what's going on. No one can tell you. And a lot of them are admitting that's what they're saying. They're like, I honestly can't tell you. Like, no one really knows what's going on. And like I said, at the end of the day, all we can do is what we can control, right? What we can control. And this is why we look at this. Every day with our market update, we look at the bond market. We look at this, the 10-year treasury. This is what floats all boats. This is the dog that wags the tail. So understand this. Understand this. This is going down the yield. So that means they're being bought up somewhere. That means currency is leaving the dollar. Here, this is why you've seen the dollar sell off, the relative strength. Currency is leaving the dollar and it's going into bonds. It's going into these stocks pumping. It's going into Bitcoin pumping. That's the game. That's the game. So understand this. Once this freezes up, then it's lights out. And I think, like I was saying earlier, the CBDC comes out when the credit markets lock up. A 2019 September repo event again locks up. Credit's not coming out of the credit card. Gas not coming out of the pump. And it's coming. They will wait until the CBDC is ready. Then they'll drop the shoe. So beautiful jobs report. Does it really matter? No, I don't think it helps a lot of people that lost their jobs, that lost their nice paying, well-paying jobs. I don't know what you tell those people. Well, we added 517,000 jobs, guys, so go screw yourself. Clown world. This is why I've been saying for a long time, get insurance. Get literal insurance. Get Bitcoin, the biggest insurance hedge there is. Get some gold and silver, huge insurance hedges. Guns and ammo, massive insurance. Going to be able to, those prices of those are going to go up. Food storage, water, land, and build your community. This is what we're doing here. Build your community. It's the thing. It's the way forward. You'll never feel more confident in your life. You'll never feel more independent and resilient if you do all those things. You start chipping away at those things. Do a little, do 5% of that. Do 10% of that over the next couple of days, this weekend, and then do another 5%, 10% over the next week or two. You're going to feel light years ahead. Take a little bit and start partitioning it off. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice at the end of the day. A free man is one who can do what he wants, when he wants, when he wants to do it. That's it. That's all there is to it. They are the elites, I should say. The unproductive class is banking on people not being crying so much that just give me the stimulus check, give me the CBDC, give me total slavery. Right? What is it's the Ben Franklin quote? Those who want security or free, they'll trade their security. They'll trade their freedom for security. Deserve neither and will have none. Right? That's it. Be the American ethos at the end of the day. That's all this is. And we only do that through independence and resilience of ourselves and our family. I appreciate you, your time and energy. Let me know your comments in here. I think this is really, honestly, the question, the cultural rot going on. This is the battle of our time. People think, like, oh, World War III. We're in World War III. It's up here. It's a mind virus. We are in massive, massive trouble. However, I have such hope for humanity because of Bitcoin, because of our faith in God coming back, and we're seeing it everywhere. Damar Hamlin, things going on. We're seeing the faith come back into the world, which is really just humility at the end of the day. It's having humility, understanding that there's something bigger than you in life and you're not the center of the universe. That's really what it is. Let's be honest. Bitcoin is hope. God is hope. Humility is hope. Faith is hope. Getting independent, getting resilient, controlling the actions that we can control. That is hope. Never been more hopeful right now. 99.9% of humans are good. It's just the unproductive class at the top that is preying on the goodness, the good-naturedness of humanity that runs over all of us because we're so trusting and such good people, the 99% of us, that we believe that our leaders have our best intentions. That is not the case. Never been the case. That is not how this works. That's why the Founding Fathers set up the governments the way they did, so we could limit the unproductive class. They could limit those people. I appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. Bitcoin is time, and time is Bitcoin. Please share this. Please like and subscribe to this. Please share it with someone you think might need to understand this, might need to hear this. And go check out all the other videos we just did recently. We've been talking about a lot about this, CBDCs, everything, inflation, what really is inflation, and how it blows people's minds away thinking about deflation. So it's just counterintuitive. No one's growing up with it, so that people just don't even understand it. And I'll see you on the next one.